What's up, guys?
What's up, world?
Thank you for tuning back into our channel.
Oh yeah, welcome back. I'm Mo.
And I'm Dacia.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about Chapter 3 of the Love series, which is Love and Compromise. So yeah, Love and Compromise. Babe, you want to go ahead and just let them know what compromise is?
So compromise, we all know what it is, or at least we all should know.
Everybody might not know, though.
Compromise is when two parties come to some type of a mutual agreement. Two parties come to some type of common ground when both parties have two opposing thoughts or two opposing things that they are holding on to and coming together and say, you know what, we're going to do this. That is what a compromise is. So we have 3 topics under compromise that we want to talk about. So we are going to dive right in. And the first one is, why should you compromise? I think a lot of people ask that. Why should I compromise?
Yeah. I think that's very selfish, first and foremost. Like, why should I compromise? Well, some people do ask that. You know, some people don't feel like they should have to compromise, whatever. I feel like you should compromise because love, compromise, any form of relationship, it goes hand in hand with compromising. Like, how can you come to a common ground in a relationship if you don't compromise? I mean, it's necessary, it's vital, it's key. You need to compromise, you know? It's just something that you have to do in order to have a healthy relationship. You don't have to compromise, but if you want a healthy relationship, you need to compromise. So
yeah, and this is like in any type of relationship that you have. If you want a successful relationship, if you want a relationship that's going to last, and if you want people to remain around you that actually want to be bothered with you, you have to in some way, some form, know how to compromise. You can't be that type of person who feels like my way is the only way, the right way, and whatever you say, whatever you try to tell me, I'm going to reject to it. I'm never going to try to, you know, bend to it. And so no one likes a know-it-all Nancy. So if you are that type of person, eventually you will be alone. Everybody will leave negative Nancy over there.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, flat out, like I said, it's just selfish, you know, for you to feel like things are only supposed to go your way. You might as well date yourself, or you might as well, you know, just be by yourself because, you know, that's not, it's not relationships, you know.
If you love yourself that much and you feel like you shouldn't compromise and that you just know everything, date yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't, you know, just be by yourself. Don't have no friends. Don't, you know, go out into the world. Just be by yourself and everything will be fine.
Yep. So, to answer that question, why should I compromise? Because it's healthy and it's necessary.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
When should you not compromise? I think that is another big one because some people feel like, well, I feel like if I compromise, then I'm bending to my morals. I'm bending to my beliefs. And, you know, or I'm changing who I am as a person. So I don't feel like I can compromise. And so if you feel like those 3 things, if someone is trying to change your beliefs, if someone trying to change who you are as a person, or it stands against everything that you are, then you should not be compromising. And that person, you should also be kind of thinking, why is this person trying to make me compromise things that I am totally against?
Flag on a play. It's a red flag, you know. So if you have that situation where you might be in a relationship with somebody and, you know, you feel like they're causing you to go against your morals, your beliefs, those truths that you hold deep in your heart, you definitely want to look at that. I think that is a major, major red flag that's not a person that you need to be around. You might need to remove yourself from their presence. You know, you don't want anybody that forces you to be somebody that you're not, you know, because then it's like, what is the point in that when the deal is to stay true to who you are and become a better version of yourself with someone in a relationship, you know, if that's the path that you're on. So if you have a situation like that, you really need to examine that a little bit closer and you know, make some adjustments for sure, because that's not healthy at all.
It's not, and I absolutely agree. Listen to those warning signs that people often give off on themselves. People were telling themselves all day long. You just have to be aware enough to understand and listen to those signs to catch them in the beginning. You know, not 5 years down the line, you're just like, you know what, I've been in this situation and I'm always compromising myself, but they've never given me anything. It's about about give and take, give and take. If you're the only person that's giving in your relationship, any type of relationship, if you're the only person who's trying anything, that's a red flag that you just need to throw up them deuces and just let it go.
For sure. And I mean, and if it's a situation where it's like that, you find yourself always giving, or if you're a person that, you know, is always taking, that's a very selfish trait. Don't do that, you know, but either side, eventually, you know, if you're a person that's always giving, you're going to get burnt out. If you're a person that's always taking, that person that you're taking from is going to get burnt out, and eventually they're going to beast up on you and be like, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. So, you know, you got to look at it like that. You never want to go against what you believe. So always just remember that when it comes down to reasons why you shouldn't compromise.
Absolutely. Yeah. Stay true to what's in here. If it makes you feel funny in here, listen to your gut instinct first. Listen to that inner intuition.
And I think it's important too, you know, whenever you know what you feel to be true in your heart, is finding people that have those similar beliefs and those similar values. It doesn't have to be the same as yours, but if you around people that have completely different, you know, values and beliefs than what you hold in your heart, you need to examine those situations and those people and, you know, maybe make some adjustments, you know.
Right. Absolutely. And then so our last one that we want to talk about is, how do you compromise in your relationship? And so relationship, we know that we're talking about all types of relationship, but in this instant we're talking about in your intimate relationship with your partner, because sometimes it can be difficult when you are strong in what you believe and the person that you're with is strong in what they believe. How do you come together and say, you know what, we're going to compromise, we're going to agree on this? Sometimes it takes a lot of work, and so that's why we were saying before that you need to take baby steps, small steps. Work on the small things first, and then eventually you'll be able to compromise on the bigger things.
I mean, I think something simple, you know, let's say for instance, I work during the week until 5 o'clock, and you're working during the week till 10. It would be unrealistic for me to expect her to cook dinner on a night that she got off at 10 o'clock, because I get off at 5, so, you know, I can't look at the situation like, oh, I cooked last night or the night before. I get off at 5 o'clock. I have this amount of time to make sure that dinner's prepared, you know. So I think that's like a small compromise where you can just look at it from a different perspective and understand, if I did expect her to cook any night that she, you know, hypothetically was getting off at 10 o'clock, that would be selfish and unrealistic for me to have that expectation, you know. And then you gotta eat late and all that, you know. Then you be hungry, I be ready to eat, not trying to wait that late, so, you know.
Be midnight before you actually ready to eat. Yeah, so it's just about, you know, just looking at the broader spectrum and just saying, you know what can we compromise? What can I give? What can I take? What can we omit? And, you know, how can we work together and try to make this thing work? You know, because that's really what your relationship is, working together. You shouldn't be with someone where you're constantly at odds, or you're constantly at a battle and you're fighting against each other. That's not what it should be about. It should be about give and take, but also, you know, helping each other out, compromising. You don't have to change who you are, but sometimes you have to step up and do things that you don't necessarily want to do for the betterment out of your relationship. It's about a compromise. It's just the main thing, compromise.
It's about finding that common ground. I like how you said omit. I think that's another thing too. I think sometimes a lot of people waste time focusing on stuff that at the end of the day, it's like it don't even matter. Like, why are we sitting here going back and forth about this? It's so minimal. Like, you know, some things you do just got to throw out the window and realize that that's just energy that you wasting focusing on this aspect, or, you know, this part of the relationship, whatever it is. It doesn't even matter at the end of the day. So I think that's very important too. You know, giving, taking, as well as omitting the unnecessary. So
absolutely. So those were our 3 short little topics that we wanted to talk about on love and compromise. So what we need you guys to do is leave some comments on how you compromise, some things that maybe you have some questions on how can you compromise in certain areas of your life. Leave those comments. We will respond. We always respond. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. And subscribe to our channel. And thank you so much for all of our new subscribers and all of our loyal subscribers who are staying tuned each and every week. We appreciate you guys and we love you guys so much.
Yeah, and we know that we are very, very new YouTubers, but we want to get the activity going. So don't be afraid, don't be shy, leave the comments, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter, just get the comments going, and like she said, just subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, if you love it, whatever. Just share your thoughts with us. So
absolutely. Thank you so much, guys, and we are out.
Peace.